What's up, family? I don't know exactly how many people I'll get in here, but yeah, we're going to get into a variety of topics today. Everything from that Mike Tyson fight with Jake Paul, which I believe was nothing but a white supremacist finesse, them trying to put a score up on the board because they'll take a win by any means necessary. So we're gonna get into that and every down to Donald Trump giving white people reparations supposedly. So we're gonna be talking about that too, and a variety of other topics, that's relevant to the foundational Black American collective. So we're gonna get right into it. Up in Cumberland County, they had a black cheerleader up in Cumberland County High School, and that's in PA. And as y'all know, I'm in PA also, York, Pennsylvania to be exact. So they had a black cheerleader up there at this Cumberland County High School, and she was a cheerleader in Cumberland County High School. She was made to walk around on a leash by white students. They forced this young sister to walk around on a leash. Insane, and that really burns me up. And then her parents, made complaints about it. None of the school officials, everything from what I got, the assistant director of that district, the athletic director, and the school district superintendent, none of them acted upon the family making a complaint about this, like their daughter being treated and misused and abused up at this school, because evidently she been being picked on and racially discriminated against by the white students at this particular school. And they even made this sister, when they went away on some kind of trip in a hotel room, the white students had her walk around on a leash. And I don't like that one bit. And the family has now filed a racial discrimination lawsuit against the school district. You know what I mean? But they're not looking to get like a settlement. They're actually pushing for a jury trial in this matter, of them racially discriminating against our young black sister, because that was just, bogus on a part of the school. They were making complaints about it and everything. And the school said, to hell with that. In practicing white supremacy, white supremacy looks out and takes care of its own. And I think that these white coaches and everyone involved with it, this matter and things like that are still working at this school, and they should have let them go, and the students should be even held accountable. The ones that made her walk around on a leash like a damn dog. I don't respect that. But the system of racism, white supremacy we in looks after and takes care of its own. And I don't respect it, nor do I rock with it. But the parents, truth be told, they should have. It's not the parents' fault, but once I'd have got that complaint from my kid about being discriminated against, based off of race, I would have got my kid out of that school quick, fast, and in a hurry. And that's what I think that the parents should have did. And if y'all know how I get down on my channel, family, I'm totally against. But I know people got to do what they do on the other hand, so I don't want to be, insensitive to that. But I'm totally against the public school system, especially for our black youth, because more often than not, I see it all the time when I'm looking around for stories to cover of black kids getting racially discriminated against in these public schools. I just put out a story not too long ago of a young brother being made to reenact our brother George Floyd's death scene, and the white substitute teacher, he was also a police officer, had his foot on the brother's neck, this, that, and the other. I don't respect that. That's why I say, like, if you got the ability to do so, homeschooling would be the better option, especially for, our black youth, because they ain't doing right by black youth up in that public school system. And case in point, here we have it. A black cheerleader was made to walk around on a leash. You know what I mean? A damn leash, and by white kids, and it was brought to the school district's attention. They turned a blind eye to it. That whole damn school district and everyone that was, involved in it when this went down should be charged up with something. And this is another thing why we need that black hate crimes bill put on to effect to protect our people against these kind of injustices. And this brings me to my next thing I want to get into. Pennsylvania itself got a long-standing history of anti-blackness, racial things being done to foundational Black Americans. It brings me to something that happened in my particular area, my neck of the woods in Pennsylvania in the 60s, family. We had a race ride in the 60s, in which a sister was coming up from North Carolina, I believe, just to visit family and friends here, just like on the weekend or something. Her name was Lily Bell Allen. She was coming through York, PA, just to stop and visit some friends and family. And white supremacists opened up on her car. A white supremacist gang opened up on her car, killing the sister, for absolutely nothing at all other than based off of race. And then allegedly the brothers, got wind of it, and and they got on, allegedly got all on code, and took out a white police officer by the name of what was his name, Henry Shad. They took him out and unalived him allegedly, but yeah, with just a lot of racial tension going on here in Pennsylvania, and it still is, truth be told. Pennsylvania is a racist state, even where I'm at in York, Pennsylvania. And I told y'all the story already of my mom almost being killed because she was biracial, and the white people beat her down, damn near killed my mom. My mom would have been, my mom wouldn't even have been around if the car would have got started, because they was trying to throw my mom in the trunk and things like that. But yeah, and then getting back to that race ride we had in the 60s, this all happened around the same time too, of my mom being, beat down by the white supremacist groups here in York, PA. At the same time, around the same time this race ride was going down, because when we had this race ride, our damn mayor, whose name was Charlie Robertson, he passed away though. He was giving these white supremacist gangs ammunition, to go out here and unalive black folks. And he was the damn mayor, and he didn't even get held accountable for this, family. Only thing they did was, I think, and I'm not even sure about that, don't hold me to it, but I think they might have made him step down as being the mayor, and he gave ammunition to the white supremacist groups we had in York. He was complicit in it as well, because we all know the system of racism, white supremacy. They got judges, police officers, mayors, everything. They'll do their job in the daytime, but at nighttime they put on that white hood and run around. The same way with this Charlie Robinson. He wasn't held accountable, and that was our mayor. The only thing he was made to do was step down from office after providing them white supremacist gangs with ammunition to go out here and unalive black folks. And that sister Lily Bell lost her life for absolutely nothing at all other than being black. So it shows you the kind of climate we got here in Pennsylvania, especially with that young sister being made to walk around on a leash by people on her fellow cheerleaders and students and things like that, because they say that cheerleader also up in Cumberland County, she was discriminated against in all sorts of ways. She wasn't even able to be on the team photos, this, that, and the other, and I don't respect it, nor do I rock with it. And we got to just keep our eye on this to see, how this thing ends up. But I don't like it, and hopefully the family, wins that jury trial they got, because the family not looking to settle. They, I heard a lot of times when people file these federal discrimination lawsuits, most of the time they just looking to settle and get a payday. But this family actually wants to go to court and have a jury trial, for the injustices that this school district in Cumberland County did to our young black sister. Because they was making complaints about it to the school board officials and people in that school, and they was turning a blind eye to it, that their daughter was racially being discriminated against and made to walk around on a leash by them damn no good people on that cheerleading team and her fellow students. You know what I mean? I would have took my kid up out of that school quick, fast, and in a hurry once they said that, they were being racially discriminated against, and I would have been up at that school, raising all type of cane. But yeah, it's just an unfortunate story. So we got to see how that, if any news comes back out on it, I'm going to update it, put an update video out there. But truth be told, none of them teachers that was around when this was going on, all of them should be fired and gotten rid of, if you ask me. What's the next thing I want to talk about? I'm looking down here at my paper to see the next particular topic I want to talk about. Yeah, let's get into it. Anybody seen Charleston White? Lately, he was running around on some kind of platform with a damn Confederate flag on. Damn sellout, caping for Trump. You know what I mean? And I'm not for neither party, so I don't cape for the right nor the left. I'm right down the middle. I'm very, I voice my opinions and dislikes about both parties. You know what I mean? That's why I didn't vote, because none of them had a foundational Black American agenda laid out on the table. So I just sat it out, because I ain't into picking the lesser of two evils. And this is asking me to pick, do I want the white supremacy from the left or the right? So I just was like, the hell with it. I just, won't participate in it. But getting back to the Charleston White thing, yeah, he was up there on one of these platforms. I seen him draped out in a damn Confederate flag, damn coon and sellout, caping for Donald Trump. And I used to follow this Charleston White a little bit, till I just seen a lot of what he was talking was nonsense. You know what I mean? After a while, when a person talks long enough, then you start to know who they are, and it'll start to tell you about that individual's character. So I started to see, he was running around talking about, harming women and children. And I got some video I'm gonna play where, it shows just as to the character of this Charleston White. He talking about essaying women, and just doing all sorts of wicked nonsense. And, he's running around caping with a damn Confederate flag on. So it lets you know right then and there that he ain't got no black mind and he ain't really for building up the black collective. But I'm gonna get into that video right now, family, of him, talking about this Charleston White talking about essaying. I hope they don't hit me for this too. I'm not gonna play maybe the whole video because you know how the algorithm is and suppressing once you talk about certain sensitive topics that they don't want to have out there, then they'll work to suppress the content. Hold on just a minute. Here we go. Turn it down in case a commercial pop up. Fair use, fair use.
I'm sitting here talking to these people, telling them about when I raped this one girl one time. Bitch come home with me, let me eat on her pussy. We worked together. She was allowed to me. She let me. She let me eat on her pussy. And then when I get ready to stick it in, she said no. So I took it. That's what I told him. I did it right now.
You hear him talking about taking it, essaying women, family. This man ain't, he ain't nobody credible, and he ain't about, building up the black community. He's sitting there talking some nonsense about taking a woman home. She ain't want to give it to him, this, that, or the other, and he takes it from him. But let's continue.
I verbally abuse women. You got it, I'm mentally abusive, and I do some psychological abuse. It all wants what the
See, talking about mentally abusing, psychologically abusing women. This dude is a complete moron, if you ask me. He ain't about no nation building, and he certainly ain't got a black mind sitting up on a damn platform with a Confederate flag. So that right there, that video just, put a nail in the coffin as to this man's mindset, because he ain't about nothing other than being a damn coon and sellout. But let's continue. Anybody seen that? This the talk of the internet right now, that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. Mike Tyson up there in age, if you ask me. So it was even telling him being able to get out there like that, that was good. He was able to even, have a physical bout like that, being able to come out to the ring like that. Mike Tyson pressed is 60 years old, so that's very telling as to the shape he was in. But if you ask me, it wasn't nothing but a white supremacist finesse, you know what I mean? Because white supremacy, they'll take a win by any means necessary, and getting Mike Tyson, a black man out there who in his prime was called Iron Mike, and knocked out plenty of white boys, they just needed this win, to get Mike Tyson to the ring. Because Mike Tyson, truth be told, I went back and did a little bit of my homework. I didn't watch the match, but I was rooting for Mike. And then, a friend of mine told me that, it's probably going to be a finesse. They were seeing videos about it being rigged, this, that, or the other. So it will probably be a finesse. And then I went back and did my homework on the situation. Mike Tyson had a ulcer bust on him in a plane. So Mike Tyson wasn't in top physical condition either, so he went there and, he performed. But a little couple clips I seen, he was getting whipped up on by Jake Paul, stumbling, this, that, and the other. And, I just feel in all actuality like it was a white supremacy finesse, because white supremacists, in their eye, they look for that great white hope, and Jake Paul was that great white hope for them. So they were just hoping to get a win against blackness, and they got it. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, it was a payday for Mike. Our FBA brother Mike Tyson got a payday out of the deal. So I'm just happy that coming from where we come from and coming from where Mike Tyson comes from, in all actuality, it's a blessing to get up into your 50s and 60s and you're still able to move around, move and shake like he ain't moving and shaking like he once did. Because if that was Mike Tyson of the 90s, when I was a kid, he would have got in there and pulverized him. I see Mike Tyson, go toe to toe with some of the best. And they said he wasn't even, how Mike Tyson used to dart ahead. He ain't giving nobody no inch. He was coming straight at you, moving. And they said he wasn't even doing that. They said he was more like lax than it all, and he was falling around in the ring, just, it was a payday. I could say that for Mike, if anything. But I believe it was the white supremacist finesse, because white supremacy, they look for that great white hope to come down there and defend whiteness. And this Jake Paul didn't even work to get where he got. He was a social media creator, so he didn't have to rise through the ranks, to fight different boxers and come up through them hard times. How our brother Mike Tyson did, because our brother Mike Tyson come from the hood, and he had to fight and earn everything he got. You know what I mean? And it was just I didn't like that, because I was really rooting for Mike, though, really, because you had white guys at my job. They was asking me, well, and I'm pretty much the only black guy that works at my job. They got another black guy on first shift, but he ain't got no black mind. I talked to him a few times, just saying, hey, what up, my brother? You know what I mean? But you could tell he probably laying white or something like that, just because how he talks, and his aneurysm just lead me to believe that. But I'm on second, so at my job on second shift, the white dudes was coming up to me, who you think will win, Lamar, this, that, or the other. Who you got your money on? I'm like, I'm going with the brother. I bet on black all the time, so I'm like, I'm going with Mike. You know what I mean? I'm going with Iron Mike, and they were like, yeah, we're going with Mike too. But in all actuality, them white people, they root for their own kind. They was probably just saying that to me, you know what I mean, to lead me to believe that they was rooting for Mike, because they look for that great white hope, and that's what Jake Paul was offered for them as, that great white hope. So they looked at him as a great white hope, and he put a couple points on the board for white supremacy, because them white supremacists don't give a damn about how they get a win. They just want it. You know what I mean? That motherfucker come out to the ring, excuse my French, limping, and is, the black opponent could come out limping, and not even be in top-notch shape how Mike Tyson was, because Mike Tyson had a bleeding ulcer, and they don't give a damn, just as long as they can get you to the ring and whip up on you and beat you, that's all. They don't even care if they whip up on you, just as long as they get that win. That's a win for white supremacy. And that's all this was with the finagle. But it was a payday for Mike, and it's keeping Mike relevant. Our brother Mike Tyson is still relevant, and he got a payday, and now he could be seen to the younger generation. So if anything, that's a good look in that way. But I don't see it, being, really wasn't no boxing match from what I'm hearing, from checking the temperature of things. There really wasn't no toe-to-toe bout. It was more about them propping up Jake Paul and putting him out there, as a win for white supremacy. So in all actuality, that's all that was. But moving right along, what's the next thing I want to touch on? Oh yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people, Democratic shills mostly, running around here saying that Donald Trump is giving white people reparations. So I said to myself, what's all that about? So I did my homework and watched a few videos, and where they're saying that Donald Trump is giving white people reparations, that's a damn reach, if you ask me, family, because he ain't say nothing about giving no white people reparations. He said about cutting diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI out of schools and things like that. But cutting DEI out of schools, we as foundational Black Americans, we never benefited off of DEI. If you look about DEI, that benefits more white people, Asians, Latinos. But when it comes to resources, we as foundational Black Americans are the last people getting resources. We kick down the door for all these other groups of people. We fight for this, we fight for things, but then other people get the benefits of that. They bum rush the door after we do all the fighting, and they're able to capitalize off of it. So this DEI, he didn't say nothing about, giving white people reparations. And, I don't like Trump. He's a stone cold white supremacist, if you ask me, but I got to keep it, fair and unbiased in my approach. And he didn't say nothing about giving white people reparations, but we just have to see how this thing plays out. Like I always say, because I don't like to jump to conclusions too fast in a hurry. We just have to see how it all plays out. But he never said nothing about giving no white people no reparations. He just said about cutting out DEI. But we never benefited off of no damn DEI as foundational Black Americans. Like I said, we kicked the door down, and then we're left holding an empty bag after we fight for everything. Everybody else comes to capitalize off of it. And white women benefit the most off of DEI. Let me get some water real quick, family. Yeah, white women benefit the most off of DEI. You can look it up. It's right there on Google. And all these other minority groups, Latinos, Asians. But we as foundational Black Americans, we don't benefit off of a damn thing after we sit here and fight for things. So he ain't say nothing about giving no reparations to white people. That's just a ploy by the Democratic shills to try to push this narrative, because in all actuality, I'm unbiased in my approach, because I don't rock with either party. That's why I didn't vote. But anything that Donald Trump does from here on out, you're going to have them Democratic shills come out here and speak in opposition to that and say, oh, well, look, see what Donald Trump's doing? He's doing this and doing that. And, y'all want reparation. Y'all ain't never getting reparations. I know Donald Trump ain't going to give black people no reparations. I know he didn't have a black agenda. That's why I didn't vote for him. That's the same way I didn't vote for Kamala Harris, because I don't want to choose the lesser of two white supremacists. For all that, I don't want no damn white supremacy. So I just sit the thing out. And that's what I did. But, it's something else I wanted to touch on. Donald Trump is trying to, implement things in the schools. And he said something about, I got the video, I'm going to show it just here in a second. He said something about, with public schools, they won't be able to get federal funding and things like that. It will be controlled at a state level. It will be all controlled at a state level. And I don't want to jump to conclusions because I don't know in all actuality. If I don't know something, I don't speak about it. So I don't know in all actuality what that's all entailing. But, this is why I'm an advocate of, if you got black kids, us homeschooling these black youths, because the school system, and I just talked about that with our black sister being led around on a damn leash by white supremacists, anti-black youths at that school, and the teacher's not doing a damn thing about it. And that was in Pennsylvania, my home state. None of these public schools are serving black kids no more. So yeah, in all actuality, I think it's better that we homeschool black youth. If I had a kid, that's the route I go. And I'm only telling the family things that I would actually do and put to use myself. But I got the audio and the video of Trump talking about, what he's going to put into effect in schools and things like that. And I'm going to give my unbiased opinion and approach on it and tell you some of the stuff I do like and some of the stuff I don't like. Just a second. Here we go. I'm going to turn it down in case of commercial. I don't want them to flag me if that pops up first. Yeah. Fair use.
Power our movement for great schools. First, we will respect the right of parents to control the education of their children. Second, we will empower parents.
I like that to a certain degree. Parents in charge of their parents in charge of their child's education. I like that to a certain degree, but we'll just have to see where that thing goes, because I don't know all the things that would entail. But putting the power back into the parents' hands as to what their kids are able to have taught to them in the schools, in my opinion, that could be a good thing. But we also got to remember, in all actuality, that the right side, the right wing, the Republican Party, they was pushing a lot of that, down there in Florida too, removing black histories from the school system, as to not offend white youth and to let them know the atrocities and things that their ancestors committed. So I don't rock with that part, with them trying to get that out of the education. I don't rock with that. If that could be what that's entailing, I'm not sure. But if that's what it's entailing, I don't rock with that. Them trying to take the black history out of schools, because whether they want to hear it or not, black history needs to be taught. And, them young white kids need to know the atrocities and things that their ancestors did. I don't give a damn if they like that or not. It is what it is. Deal with it. But let's continue. Hold on, family. My phone will be acting crazy sometimes. Truth be told, need to get a new one.
We will empower parents and local school board to hire and reward great principals and teachers, and also to fire the poor ones, the one whose performance is unsatisfactory. They will be fired. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired.
Now, hold on right there. I like that, getting rid of the school principals and teachers that ain't doing their job, because we all know they got a lot of damn school principals and teachers up there that just want to sit up there and collect a paycheck, that don't give a damn about the best interest of the students. All they give a damn about is at the end of the week getting they just due, and I don't rock with that, because if you just going to be in the way, sitting on, up in the school, get out of the way, so our kids can be taught, because our kids deserve to have that education brought to them in the right way. And let's continue.
They will be fired. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired. Third, we will ensure our classrooms are focused not on political indoctrination, but on teaching the knowledge and skills needed to succeed. Reading, writing, math, science, arithmetic, and other truly useful subjects. Fourth, we will teach students to love their country, not to hate their country like they're taught right now. Fifth, we will support bringing back prayer to our schools.
Hold on right there.
Sixth, we will achieve.
I'm not in favor of that. It seems a little bit indoctrinational right there, him saying bringing back prayer to schools. I don't like that. You know, a good bit of the things he was talking about, I was feeling him on. I got with him on. I was in agreement with that. I was in alignment with that. But now you sitting there talking about bringing prayer back to school. Not everyone wants to have their kid, you know, being taught a prayer or praying, you know, to some Christianity God, some white God. You know, some black folks ain't in favor of that. So we just have to see how this thing plays out, family B. But you know, I'm gonna keep on saying it. I'm gonna keep on reiterating it that I'm in favor of for the black family to, if you can do it, you know, because I know everyone is going through some hard times right now with the economy so damn high. But if you can afford to do it, you know, homeschool your kids so you could put that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in them that you want them to have, not, you know, being brought to you, because up in these public schools, it ain't nothing but predominantly white teachers, and they don't, you know about no damn black knowledge or history to be able to teach black kids anything. But let's continue.
We will achieve schools that are safe, secure, and drug-free, with immediate expulsion for any student who harms a teacher or another student. Seventh, we will give.
He said immediate expulsion for any kid that harmed another student or a teacher. But what about the rights to protect the student? Because we all know up in these public schools, teachers be misusing and abusing kids, especially the black ones, putting their hands on them, practicing anti-blackness, racism, you know, and this is coming from teachers. And sometimes teachers see black students, you know, getting picked on by white students, you know, and they turn a blind eye to it in favor of, you know, rocking with that white supremacist thing where they look out for and take care of their own. But let's continue.
Who harms a teacher or another student. Seventh, we will give all parents the right to choose another school for their children if they want. It's called school choice. Eighth, we will ensure students have access to project-based learning experiences inside the classroom to help train them for meaningful work outside the classroom. Ninth, we will strive to give all students access to internships and work experiences that can set them on a path to their first job. They're going to be very, very successful. I want them to be more.
Now, I like that, providing them with internship and setting them on a path to, you know, greatness, you know, because a lot of times school just don't, let's be honest, they just don't teach kids nothing applicable that they could turn around and use in the real world society to make profit. They don't teach them about ownership. All the schools really teach is for you to be docile and dormant and submit to a system of going to work every day, collecting a paycheck. You know, it just puts you in a bad position, you know, to start out in, you know. And if we had more schools that were providing internships and, you know, actually maybe, you know, being a pathway to direct kids into their field of study, into the job field, that would be an awful lot better. And that seems like what he's talking about there. So I like that, you know, providing kids with the things to succeed in life.
More successful than Trump. Let them go out and be more successful. I will be the happiest person in the world. But we want our children to have a great life and be successful. And 10th, we will ensure that all schools provide excellent jobs and career counseling so that high school and college students can get a head start on jobs and careers best suited to their God-given talents. This is how we will ensure a great education for every American.
See, I like that, setting the students off on a path to win instead of setting them off, you know, just, you know, come in here, go to work and collect that paycheck at the end of the week. See, that teaches, you know, kids to be dependent upon the system. See, my whole thing is that I'm trying to get independent of the system, to be able to do for self, you know, and that's what I advocate on my channel. And I advocate that in my life when I talk to people, you know. Do everything you can do to get independent of the system, because if the system collapses, you got to have a way to sustain yourself. You know, if the grocery store ain't, you know, got food in there, you know, you got to know how to grow your food. You know, you got to know how to make money, especially us being, you know, us as black people. We got to be, you know, not dependent upon the system, you know, and just, you know how to do for self. So that seems like what he's trying to do is set people on the course to greatness, you know, into their field of study, you know what I mean, and put them in job placement. So I like that, and I'm in favor of that. But let's continue.
For every American child. And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up, all those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate our children. We're going to send it all back to the states.
Dot provides.
See, I don't know how I feel about that, family. We just have to see how, that plays out, because he's talking about, sending the education back to the states so they could be in control of it, and I don't want to speak too prematurely because it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing, but either way, for the good or the bad, I feel like a lot of Black children will be affected by this because let's be honest, a good deal of our Black youths are up in that public school system. So we have to just see how this thing plays out. He's talking about maybe they're overwhelmed up there at the federal level, so they want to kick it down to the states, and we just have to see how that thing plays out in all actuality, because a lot of our kids will be affected by this. This is why I'm a firm advocate. I take it back to that homeschooling thing. If you're a Black parent or a guardian, period, that's Black, I suggest that, we get that homeschooling popping off, because you can get to teach your kids the way you want them to be taught, embed that Black knowledge, wisdom, and understanding into them, and just teach them, how to be successful in the world, because a lot of times in the school system, they're not teaching our youth how to be successful. So we just have to see how that thing plays out. But I really don't know what that would all entail, all the logistics of it, taking the funding, kicking everything down to a state level, instead of the federal government controlling the schools, kicking it down to a state level. I don't know everything that would entail, so we just got to keep our eyes on it and, be vigilant, because to be aware is to be alive. That's what I was always told growing up. But another thing I want to touch on, let me get a swig of water real quick. Another thing I want to touch on is that I seen coming from the left side, the Democratic side, they trying to, push heavily censoring these platforms. And if I know I'm a Black content creator on the Black grassroots, and I try to put out the most informative information, especially for my foundational Black American family. And, a lot of these platforms, they try to work to suppress it. And the Democrats are in favor of, heavily censoring these apps that we come on, and, we're able to share knowledge, wisdom, and understanding with one another. And we're able to learn, I learn from people, on the internet, watching people, that's why, we like coming on here sharing and things like that. But the Democrats are trying to, push something where though they don't want, they want these apps to be censored, more control of these apps. They already got control of these apps, because sometimes I put out videos that are very informative for the family, and I'm only getting 1 or 2 views, 2 or 3 likes. And, that's done by design, because they don't want the message to get out there. So the Democrats are in favor of that. But I'm seeing now that Trump's coming with something where he's saying he don't want things to be suppressed. He wants that freedom of speech to be brought back to these apps. So I'm in alignment with that, and I'm in agreement with that, allowing people to voice their opinions, and speak how they feel, because that's a good thing, without being censored, or fear of your page getting taken down, or getting strikes on your channel, this, that, or the other. So Trump is in favor of, pushing to get rid of that censorship. So I like that coming from his side. And but on the other hand, that will play into white supremacists too. But white supremacy, they're able to come on here and talk anything they want. I see them all the time putting out racist rhetoric on Black folks, and they able to, go up there in the algorithm. But when I put something in opposition to that, it'll shoot my stuff down. When I start talking, down on white supremacy and collaborators and things like that, it'll shoot my things down. So truth be told, white supremacists, they're already able to talk on these platforms free and uncensored. So it probably will work in our favor. I'm in agreement with that, him not having these apps so censored where you're able to talk. So I'm in agreement with that, and I'm in alignment with that. I don't know. Did anybody out there watch the fight? Any of the family watch the fight that's in here between Tyson and that Jake Paul? Yeah, because I wanted to watch it. I was trying to get, I don't got Netflix, but I was looking to try to get a free subscription or something and then cancel it. But, then when I started thinking it might be a finesse, because I was rooting for Tyson. Like I said, I root for anything black to win. But then when I started seeing it would be a finesse, started to think about it in them terms, I was like, nah, I'm cool because, white supremacy just want to put a point on the board. They just looking for a finesse. And that's all they were looking for with our brother Mike Tyson. But in another way, Mike Tyson got paid and he's still able to stay relevant to the younger people that didn't know him. So, but white supremacists, they some dirty damn players. Boy, I tell you, ain't no low level that they won't stoop to. They look to put a win on the board by any means necessary. And, I don't think Mike Tyson, is too up on about how the system of racism, white supremacy works, because and Mike Tyson also even said in his own words that he don't give a damn about his legacy. So, he wasn't going in there performing at top-notch shape anyway. He just said he don't give a damn about his legacy, and he had an ulcer burst, so he wasn't in tip-top shape and condition. He's pushing 60 years old. That's senior citizen status. So, the fact that Mike was even able to get in there was, that was a good thing. But, he said he don't give a damn about his legacy. And he sure as hell don't know how system of racism, white supremacy works, because they took an account when he was whooping up on them white boys back in the day, and they never forgot that. That's why they was looking to get a win put up on their board. And that's all that was a finesse. But yeah, I ain't probably gonna be going live after Monday, family, or putting out any videos, because truth be told, I gotta go in for a surgery. I got nasal polyps in the nose. So if y'all don't see any content coming from me, that's why I'm gonna just be out, healing and get myself back in tip-top shape, because from what I know, they said that the surgery could get better before it gets better. So I got to keep that in mind. So I'm just probably going to be laying up, nurturing myself, taking care of myself. So I won't be putting out no content like that. I just wanted to come live, for the last time. I probably won't put out no content for maybe a week and a half. I wanted to come in here and just tap in with the family. I didn't get too many comments this go around. I see some people were coming in, here and there. I just wanted to tap in real quick with the family. And, anybody out there got any plans for the weekend? I probably ain't doing too much of nothing. Might get out here and get some fresh air in a little minute, take a walk. I like to walk. And I just came from the gym. That's the things I like to do, work out and come on here and battle white supremacy, talk about white, speak in opposition to white supremacy and put out informative information to the FBA family. So that's what I like to do. You know what I mean? And other than making this content, I work out, and try to, live the best life I can live, because we got to take care of our health, make sure that we keep the temple right and exact, because if your health ain't right, nothing else around you ain't going to be right. But yeah, just have a good weekend out there, family. And if y'all don't hear from me, Monday, I won't be back on maybe for like a week and a half, because I'm going to be out 8 days from work, also healing up from this nasal polyp surgery I'm about to get. So all of the family, stay blessed up and stay safe. Have a good Saturday and a good rest of your weekend. It's your brother Mar. And I want to send a message to the family also to be aware, because to be aware is to be alive. Peace and FBA power, family.